So when you look at the three-part process of lead generation, lead nurturing and lead conversion, we are focused on lead generation and we do many things to stimulate lead generation. We do marketing, we do referrals, we do digital, physical, whatever, advertising, all of that. But when we get qualified leads, there is a time process. Sometimes it is 1 month, sometimes 2 months, 3 months, depending on what is the nature of your cycle, your sales cycle. So for those instant gratification sales cycle, you just have lead generation and lead conversion. But for those products and services which have a longer lead time, the word nurture comes into existence. So if you really think about the fox hunt, and the fox hunt is where, it's like it's such a big event. It used to be, I don't know if they have it now, but in the UK, everybody dresses up and, there's a whole entourage that goes out with all the dogs. And when they spot the fox, the dogs are chasing that fox and everybody's running and galloping away. In that kind of a situation, the word nurture doesn't exist. Because if you talk about nurturing in a fox hunt, it would be a stupid thing like that everybody, after 10 minutes, stop. Then we got to go and cuddle the fox and we got to feed him water, nurture him, pet him and say, okay, fox, are you ready now? Now start running and we'll start galloping after you. It doesn't work. So the distinction is between hunting and farming. So when you're talking about a 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 month cycle, it's definitely not a hunting cycle. Now when you talk about sales predominantly, because it is target based, it is time based, percolates down into everybody's psyche as it's hunting. I've got to hunt the numbers, I've got to make it happen. So that kind of a dynamic starts to play, and in that, everything that you attempt to nurture is not actually nurturing. There is some inauthenticity there, there is some pretense there, there is a hidden agenda, and that gets communicated. And with the result that the more you try to quote unquote nurture with that mindset, the more it gets rejected. And that makes it very difficult. Contrast that with that you are living in a gated community, or let's say 200 families live there, and a new family moves in. And if they move in there, as a conscientious neighbor, you would take some little offering, maybe a cake, maybe fruits, or just to go and say hi, hello to them. And then you would take that family and introduce them to the immediate neighbors and the elders in that community to integrate them, to make them feel welcome. In that situation, you have gone from goodwill to connect and make this person comfortable. Because the basic urge is sense of belonging. The basic urge is a community urge, belonging into a community. So when you have a very long sales cycle, when you meet with somebody, what happens if you start bringing that faculty which is already deep inside you of operating in a community where you connect with this person with no in order to, that I am connecting in order to get my sale, I am connecting in order to move him forward, put all that in order to aside, and you start connecting at a level where you are serving them, and then the whole world opens up for you. So like what I do is, when I meet people, I find out and I'm listening to them, and when I'm visiting their office, I notice their family pictures, I ask them, and I find out, oh, you know what, their son is in the 12th standard, he's just getting ready to apply for the universities. And I might say, you know what, my son just is now in studying in Boston, and there's a whole process that we went through. So I can share some information for you, and I'll be very happy to speak with you and your son and all that kind of stuff. So what that does is now suddenly there is a new interest that comes in, a relationship is forming. Because the fundamental is very simple. People like to do business with who they know, like, and trust. And when you have a 3-month, 4-month, 5-month, 6-month cycle, you've got a great opportunity to bond with this person at the interest levels in such a way that your conversation, your sales conversation, automatically stays alive through that whole period. And as you have started to show up as becoming more and more, reliable, more and more sort of a source, a connector, offering him, kind of things that makes his life work, then you start to operate from a very fundamental principle called live more versus sell more. So if you put sell more aside and you start living more, you're inviting people inside of this whole community kind of a dynamic, and that is nurturing. You cannot nurture a fox in a fox hunt. So hunting and nurturing don't go together. Farming and nurturing goes together, and the community and nurturing goes together. Selling is like hunting as a distinction, and nurturing and community. So this is basically the dynamic which, if you can sort of start reorienting yourself from there, you'll suddenly find that your harvest start to pick up. Maybe it's a 6-month crop, maybe it's a 4-month crop. But as you start nurturing, then and the crops start coming, your harvest start to pick up and your business will start to grow.